Hey everybody, welcome to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy. The newest Spider-Man Far From Home trailer dropped and we get our first look at the MCU post-Snap number 3. There are a lot of clues in the trailer about where the franchises can go from here, both Spider-Man and the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. But before we begin, big spoilers for Avengers Endgame and potential spoiler warnings for Spider-Man Far From Home. The trailer begins with a spoiler warning from Tom Holland, which is deliciously ironic because the actor is one of the most notorious spoiler-prone people at Marvel. Then we see how Peter is coming to terms with Tony's death. It's hard because literally everywhere he looks there are murals and candlelight vigils to his surrogate father. There's even this shot of Iron Man tribute art on the bulletin board behind him in school. He's trying to pick up the superhero slack now that Tony is gone and Cap is probably ordering soup in a deli somewhere and the Avengers are just somewhat in disarray. You can see that his eyes are red because he's exhausted, or he's wicked stoned. You stoned, Parker? Huh? This shot of Peter web slinging is from the previous trailer, and I find it very interesting. You can see Avengers Tower being renovated behind him. Now, a lot of MCU faithful, like myself, are hoping this builds toward the Fantastic Four, like maybe Reed Richards was the mysterious buyer mentioned in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Tony sold Avengers Tower, relocating to a new facility upstate.
However, since this is a Sony movie, the building's owner is probably tied more to the Spider-Man universe, so I'm betting this is Norman Osborn building Oscorp Tower in the MCU. In the first movie, Peter wanted to be a superhero. I mean, what 15-year-old wouldn't want to be?
What, does that mean that I'm an Avenger?
No.
His arc was about admitting that he wasn't ready and he needed to stay closer to the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Stark. But I'm good.
You're good? Good. How are you good?
But I'd rather just stay on the ground for a little while. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now it looks like the world won't let him shirk his duties as Spider-Man.
But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
This is more in line with the classic version of Peter Parker, who's always trying to balance his private and superhero lives. But he does seem to be having a great time, busting up a ballroom full of goons and giving the police some guff afterwards.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
What?
I used to say that to cops when I was your age.
Peter is also wearing his Iron Spider suit, though he doesn't wear it throughout the whole movie. I'm wondering if the suit will be damaged or destroyed at some point early in the film, meaning that Peter will have to rely less and less on Stark's tech and have to become his own kind of Spider-Man. How would you feel about that? Would you rather see Peter in his classic suit or the Iron Spider armor? Let me know in the comments below. As we saw in the first trailer, he tries to leave his Spidey suit at home, but he's all about that superhero life and he ends up having to work on vacation. We see him in what I'm guessing is backstage of the charity event from the first trailer. Notice the poster in the background for Crusher Hogan. This is from Spider-Man's origin, Amazing Fantasy number 15. Crusher is the wrestler who Spider-Man first fights for money. We saw Fury recruit Peter in the previous trailer and now we know why. We formally get to meet Quentin Beck, the villain Mysterio in the comics. He's telling everyone he's from a parallel Earth because the snap ripped the fabric in space-time. The Ancient One warned in Endgame that not having Infinity Stones would leave a reality open to attacks from other dimensions, and it looks like that's what's happening here. But Sony also recently introduced parallel universes in Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. It wouldn't surprise me if they are putting this concept in the live-action movies, so Tom Holland's Spider-Man could eventually meet with Tom Hardy's Venom.
Enhanced combat mode? Yeah.
Let's eat his brain.
No. I don't want to kill anybody.
Like that they're maybe trying to piggyback off the MCU to create their own shared multiverse. Would you like to see Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man fight in the same movie? I mean, it'd be cool, but what if it was no longer in the MCU? I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But really, we can't trust anything that Mysterio says. In the comics, he's one of Spider-Man's oldest villains. He's a former Hollywood special effects artist who pretends to be a hero to gain fame. So it's possible that these elemental attackers are all just illusions he's created. And they would have to be sophisticated illusions to fool Nick Fury.
Or, and here's the theory that comes straight from our own Matt Singer, Nick Fury is actually an illusion created by Mysterio to earn Peter Parker's trust.
What? But this story is also in line with the more recent comics, where Mysterio has learned to jump to dimensions without Spider-Man so he can commit the crimes. By the way, these elemental attackers are very similar to some mainstay Spider-Man villains like Sandman, Molten Man, and Hydro Man. You can see Mysterio taking on the mentor role from Tony Stark. I think that Peter will be relieved to see Mysterio because he'll be hoping that he can become the new Iron Man. This will make his fraudulent activities an even bigger gut punch that'll teach Peter not to trust anyone so easily. Thor and Captain Marvel get name drops and we see Spider-Man's stealth suit. I'm wondering if this was the new suit that Peter was trying on the jet earlier with Happy. You can see here that he has a hologram gauntlet. the same way Tony did when he designed the Iron Man Mark II suit. MJ knows that Peter's Spider-Man, and she's right, it was pretty easy to figure out. I mean, why else would the web slinger just happen to be at their DC field trip?
What are you hiding, Peter? I'm just kidding, I don't care. Bye.
This is also in line with the comics, where Mary Jane sees Peter change into Spider-Man, but keeps a secret for years before telling him that she knows. You can see here that Peter is wearing Tony's glasses from Infinity War. Tony would use these to communicate with Friday and probably get a Terminator-like reading of his surroundings. But there's a small Easter egg here in the way that Peter takes off the glasses. He's emulating his hero Tony Stark, who loved to take off his glasses dramatically. Notice how surprised Peter is here. I think that maybe he's using the glasses and sees something that might hint at Mysterio's deception. But the most important question I have from this trailer is, why is Peter Parker in a bar? I mean, I know this is Europe, but the law is the law, guys. Come on. That's all the Easter eggs we found, but how about you? Let me know if you found any in the comments below. And if you're new here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Arey.